Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you guys know, I just came back from my birthday trip to Montreal, and I'm just here to discuss like everything I experienced, especially because this is my first solo trip out the country or just out the country in general. So this was kind of like a big deal for me. But I kind of want to start off by discussing the transportation to get there. So long story short, I will no longer be taking the bus to travel out the country. I will be taking either a train or a plane. I was kind of being cheap because I guess the plane ticket would have been like 500 something dollars. I wanted to, save money because I didn't know how expensive, how things start to add up when you're traveling internationally. And this is the first time that I've actually done it. So I didn't know how much money I would actually like. I had a like ballpark figure budget of how much I would need, but I didn't want to exceed a certain amount because I can only bring like so much with me because my job, the pay, you get it. So I was just trying to be cheap and frugal, and I wanted to take the bus, but it's not worth it because the bus to get there was 12 hours, and for context, I live about like 5 hours away from Montreal, um, and obviously across the border, but yeah. So it took 12 hours by bus to get there, and coming back home, it took roughly about, well, it should take 9 hours, but then the bus broke down, so it ended up being 10 hours, and I almost missed my second connecting bus to get back home. That's another thing too. They have like the little the transfer, so like halfway through they'll let you off at a bus station. Then you have to get another bus and wait to get like on that bus to go across the border. So it's just like a lot of stipulations with that too, because sometimes the bus you get back on is usually worse condition than the other bus. That's what happened with my trip. The bus I was on coming back home was raggedy. Nothing worked. There was no, especially because there was no outlets to plug my phone in. So I had a, I mean, luckily I had my battery pack, but I was definitely kind of scared because it was almost like 11 o'clock at night, and there was no outlets to charge my phone. So I was hoping that my battery pack still had enough charge to give me some power to last throughout the trip. Um, but yeah, anyway, forget about the bus. That was a dumb decision. Whatever. Anyway, so I do get to Montreal. I forgot what time. What time did I get to Montreal? I guess I got there like 6 p.m. But by the time I got there, it was like 12 hours. So I was kind of tired. I wanted to go out and party and explore a little bit. I didn't really have time to, because like I said, I was like really tired. I had to check in before a certain time, otherwise, to give my spot up to someone else. Um, and then I had to like get settled, unpack my things, stuff like that. So I want to talk about this part of the video. I want to talk about the hotel. So I wanted to try out the capsule hotels. I guess it's because like I saw people do videos about their stay at capsule hotels in Japan, I guess. And I guess they're being like spread out across the world in certain areas. And lucky for me, well, sort of lucky for me, there was one in Montreal. Also, this one happened to be in the downtown touristy area, and it was the cheapest one I can find, you know, for good reason. I mean, I think it could have been a little cheaper because having experienced the capsule hotel, it's it has like when people try to modernize things, like have like modernized rooms, they like to refurbish everything, but it's like low quality, like nothing seems to work, or things seem to be very fragile and break easily. That was kind of like my experience with the capsule hotel. So if the name doesn't give it away, it's very small. um my bedroom was the best part about it. It was the side, I felt like I was sleeping in a coffin, but it was like a very comfy coffin. Like the bed was comfy, blankets were comfy, pillows were comfy. I just didn't have enough wiggle room to move around as much. But they did give me like a night, not night light, but what's it called? It's like the ceiling had like little lights on them to make it feel like you were looking at the night sky. So I thought that was kind of cool. And they do give you a TV inside your room, except for some reason my TV didn't have audio. I don't know if this was a consistent thing throughout the hotel, just to like lessen the noise. But like I kind of thought that was kind of like a middle finger to me, because like why give us a TV if we're not gonna have volume? Like I'm not gonna read subtitles all night long until I fall asleep. That makes no sense. Um yeah, so that just didn't really rub me the right way with the TV thing. And I can still, I guess, like the walls are super paper thin, so you really can't make that much noise. Just because someone wants to be a Karen, they want to complain, they can because they can hear you. I kind of like the amount of privacy I had in my capsule hotel, but the privacy kind of like the illusion of privacy ended as soon as someone can hear me like talk or make a phone call, or even if I was trying to like send a text message, they can hear the notification being sent out because the walls are like paper thin. Like I can hear everyone's movement, everyone, like I can't hear them breathe per se, but I can like hear almost everything thing else. So there was that kind of bothered me. Like I spent 3 days in Montreal, so on like day three, it started to really piss me off because it's like I have to go outside to like have a phone call or whatever. The lobby itself is also very tiny. I think it's hard to compare it. I think for my viewers, I think the lobby itself was like the size of maybe like your bathroom, a little bit bigger than your bathroom. It's I might include an image. I forgot to take a picture of the outside, but like yeah, you'll see it. Like I'll upload an image so you guys have like a frame of reference. But yeah, it's pretty much like 5 steps and then you're out the lobby for the most part. And then the locker rooms are co-ed, so it's like male and female. But I guess people get changed in the bathrooms, but there's only 3 bathrooms and there's like 30 something people in the hotel at any time. Um what else? Oh yeah, the toilets never worked. Like whenever I had to use the bathroom, they just never wanted to work, never wanted to flush. There was always an issue with it. The showers were also very small. So like if you're like 6 foot 6 foot tall, or if you're like overweight or whatever, I wouldn't recommend staying at a capsule hotel just because there's not a lot of sorry, I'm not trying to be rude, but there's not like a lot of room for you to like move around in. Like everything feels claustrophobic. Even the ceiling is lowered to the point where it's like you feel like a giant, and like everything just feels, yeah, like claustrophobic basically. And also there's only like two decent looking showers, and then there's like one in the back which is somehow smaller than the other two and also not as well lit. And also the floor doesn't really have that much drainage. Like how you have the drain in the middle of the floor to drain the water. Well, I guess they didn't put it in the middle of the floor. They put it like near the side of the floor, and the water doesn't really get to that side. So, good luck trying not to slip and fall down. I mean, I obviously had like shower shoes on, but still, it was kind of hard for me to maneuver just that entire space. It's just way too small. Like, I feel like there's like a limit to how small you can make things. And I get it. Like, I thought it was trying to be like, oh, this is just a nice twist on like what a hotel will be like, a capsule hotel, like, bare necessities. But then like the more I stayed there, the more I realized that this was just kind of like, how can I make like the cheapest living arrangement possible for hotel guests? Because please tell me why like doing laundry over there was $10. Now their currency is CAD and mine's is USD. And when I try to like transfer the currency, it does give me more money in CAD, but like the cost of living is so high in Montreal, it doesn't really make a difference. And I would argue to say that the cost of living in Montreal is a little bit higher than the cost in the US by just like a little bit. Like for example, I went to, I guess I had like a Subway, not like a Subway station, but like a Subway's, sandwich place in Montreal. And I got like my regular foot long sub, same ingredients and everything. In America, it would have cost me like between, so I got the foot long sub and I got a drink as well. So I guess in America, that would have cost me like $15. Whereas in Canada, it cost me $22. And I was like, just for these two, it cost $22. And I guess they also have this tipping thing where like their tip rate is 18% and ours is 15%. But sometimes they would automatically add on the tip without your consent, like just automatically. So I didn't like that, but and that happened to me like once or twice. But you wouldn't really notice because everything is so expensive. It's not fair, but I that's why I didn't notice at first. Mostly because of the currency exchange and also the cost of living was just super high. You wouldn't really notice them putting on a tip because it's like, okay, well, I'm already paying $20. Like, what's another $2? You know what I'm saying? Um, So yeah, that was for basically the hotel. I kind of went on a little bit of a rant, but I did like the ambiance of the hotel, and like I said, I did like the bedrooms. But other than that, I didn't really like anything else about it. I would recommend the Capsule Hotel if you're like staying in for like a day and then you're gonna move on somewhere else. Like I was staying there for 3 days, and I was gonna lose my mind after the second day, just because I had to keep coming back to the same space, and you can only I wouldn't recommend carrying a lot of luggage, because their lockers, like, if you do have a lot of luggage, I guess they can keep your luggage in, like, the front lobby, in their store. I guess they have, like, a little storage area, surprisingly, for larger, luggage sizes, but, I would probably recommend you get, like, 1 large suitcase and then maybe, like, 1 little backpack carry-on or whatever, if you don't mind keeping the backpack in your room, because I'm pretty sure their lockers can only really fit, like, 1 suitcase. It can't fit more than 1. Also, to give you, like, a little smaller locker for your shoes, but, like, I'm a size 13, so, like, they could barely fit in the lockers anyway. It was okay, I was able to make it work, but, I kinda scrunched up and creased my shoes a little bit because of it. Anyway, so that kinda concludes the hotel part of my trip.